Hey, what's up? And welcome back to the Mental Edge Training Coach Podcast. I'm your host, Chad Hermansen. I hope you had an amazing Christmas and holiday season, along with, of course, a Happy New Year. But absolutely love the holiday season and the time that we just spend with our families. We go out and eat, we go to the movies, we experience the traditions that happen during this time of year. So I have 4 kids. They're somewhat older. They're ranging from the ages of 23 to 25. But I find that it's still just exciting watching them open up their Christmas presents and just seeing the love and the joy that they have for each other and just being able to celebrate the birth of Christ. But another year's gone by, and that is, at least for me, time to really reflect back on the things. What did I do throughout the year? What did I accomplish? Did I hit my goals? Am I being fulfilled really with what am I doing in my life from a really a professional, a marriage, fatherly, a health, a spiritual, like mental, emotional, and physical type of standpoint here? And so I think we tend to look at, or at least I do anyway, I tend to look at my personal development in really 4 key areas. And I like to look at it in ways of the physical side, the mental, the emotional, and the spiritual side of things. So when I look at these 4 areas, I really just want to make sure that I have a solid awareness as what is going on for each of them. So when I was doing some thought work and really research into our goals, the New Year's resolutions, I think we tend to make the beginning of each new year. We look at things in really probably different ways, but I personally was asking myself, what is driving me? And what is actually driving others in their pursuit of happiness, in their pursuit of their own inner greatness, and really just the fulfillment that I think we're all looking for in our life. Now, one thing that stood out to me during really this research and these thoughts that I've been going through is one thing that kept coming up is this intrinsic motivation versus extrinsic motivation. Super hard words to say, right? Intrinsic and extrinsic. Like I'm going to go in and X for this episode. But so the in and the X, right? So first let's talk about the X, like that extrinsic motivation. So this is the type of really motivation. It's just more outside of you, right? It comes from external sources. So when your focus is really primarily on praises from others, ways that you can be rewarded, it's all about me. It's all about my accomplishments. It's all about the worldly accomplishments. It seems like this type of motivation, it's very short term. It's short lived. It's like that sugar rush we get. I love Milk Duds. It's my favorite snack. And we get that little sugar rush, right? That little high, whether it's that dopamine hit, whatever it is. But that high, that dissolves pretty quickly. And the feeling of, I want more of this in my belly now, that it tends to just leave. So your actions in this type of motivation might be a little bit more shaped toward that external, the judgments that we receive, other than really our own personal values. So as I personally have gotten older, I'm really paying attention to what is fulfilling in my life and what are the things that I want to eliminate and what do I want to understand about myself and what distracts me from really just completing the tasks that I want to complete. So more on a part of this extrinsic motivation here, but it is external, right? It's outside of us. It really seems it's just short-lived applause. One of the things that just came to my mind a lot was just like a lot of us, if we're thinking about becoming famous, like I'm trying to become famous, that I think fits into this category. But to me overall, there really doesn't seem to be a real connection to others. And we want these quick fixes. Maybe it's in today's social media age, we're looking for those likes, for the approval of others. And the thought I came with this in this research was, are you looking for the empty calories of success? Are we chasing the empty calories of success? So, like everything, there is likely a time and a place for this little piece of it. But again, it seems fleeting and doesn't fulfill us, I think, in the long run. So, the opposite of this is that intrinsic motivation, right? This is more about what are we looking for within ourselves and our personal values that get us moving along. Those values that give us that inner fire to go after what we want. Right? Think about it. So when you do something that aligns with your values, within your passions, and really just things that are genuinely meaningful to you, I think you show up in a whole new light. Your fulfillment and the place that you're in, right? It keeps you very focused. And I think it really seems to be that recipe for that long-term fulfillment and happiness. So we have this new year, right? 2024 is upon us, and we're all looking at what can we do to accomplish? What's out there that I need to do? You might be thinking, how can I challenge myself? How can I get this last 10, 20, or 50 plus pounds off me? How can I make more money? How can I have a better relationship with my spouse, with my kids? I think when we start to ask those questions, we start to attack them. We have a game plan. We start to attack them for a few days, maybe a few weeks, a few months. And then all of a sudden, poof, it's gone. That little fire is gone. And we're back to the same old, back to that same old me, right? You're back to the same old you. So I think we're creatures of habit, of course, and we are creatures of comfort and being safe. My friends often joke with me that I'm very aware of this safety first in many aspects of my life. I've always been that way. I was scared to do most things because I didn't want to get hurt in the effect of like my sports, my playing ability to go out there and do just something stupid, like get injured. But if it's something that I could have avoided. And I'm very like that today. Say, for example, the way I drive a car. I don't want to take stupid risks or seek high pleasure, things like jumping out of an airplane. And it's not necessarily because I'm scared of doing it, but I love to play golf and I love to do the things that I love. So I would rather not risk jumping out of a plane or jumping off a 40-foot cliff into over a waterfall or something, banging up my hip or something and wrecking my body to the effect of that it ruins my goals of playing golf and being really good at golf. To me, it's just not worth that. So what I'm looking at for this year is breaking things down into a couple different areas. So when I look at these things, I want to look at the things that I can control and put that together to be like, what is allowing me to be the best version of myself? And what allows me to show up in a way that I want to show up, the way I want to show up around my friends, my family, the clients that I work with. And so I like to break it down into really a couple of things, like I mentioned. So I like to go physical, mental, the emotional, spiritual side of things. So like physically, I want to be strong, right? I want to be strong. I want to be flexible. As I do get older, I'm noticing my mobility is starting to be a little affected. So I need to work on my mobility. So being aware of that. So I would say I'm a tightly wound body. So I want to make sure that I can stay mobile, especially like within my back, my hips and my shoulders. So I want to go to the gym 4 days per week. And I include some walking in that. I'm starting to look into, I guess I've dabbled, if you will, like into the sauna. Can the sauna help me? Can I try something new to give myself that new benefit? I've been doing some cold showers. That's even a mental part of that, but it's brutal, right? If you've ever done cold showers, but it allows you to work through your breathing, which we know is very important. So I'm in a process of testing some things out, saunas, cold showers, things like that, working on keeping my inflammation down within my body. So those are the physical things you can obviously do. I'm working on my diet, putting things into my diet that are going to make me feel good in regards to just the health aspect of things. Trying to drink more water, kind of cliche, like I got my Stanley Cup always with me right here, and just diving into more water intake so I can feel better. Now, I'm not a robot. Like, I have a sweet tooth. I'm aware of that. I do some certain pleasures in my life in these small doses. Sometimes those small doses can turn into a little bit more. Like, I love my ice cream. I love some desserts, things like that, to fulfill that sweet tooth. But I think one thing that in my mindset around that is I want to enjoy those things of life, but I don't attach the mindset of any type of shame that's involved around sometimes when we eat those desserts. So I think moderation's key and low doses of it, if you will. Sleeping, right? I don't know about you, but as I get older, I love sleep more and more. Like 7 to 8 hours is ideal for me, but man, I love me some sleep. I used to be a big power napper, get that 20-minute power nap in late afternoon. That was from my playing days of sleeping, get that power nap in before I go to the ballpark. And I continue to do that, but I've just made some adjustments around that. Sleeping is just awesome. Then that kind of dives into the next part is like mentally, right? What is it mentally I want to work on? I really want to be aware of what is happening around me and how am I reacting? I know I'm going to have roughly 50, 60,000 plus thoughts every day. All these thoughts, a lot of them can be negative. So I want to know, okay, what is happening within my mind? These thoughts are going to come and go, but can I be better at understanding what my thoughts are doing? And are they more fleeting? Are they coming and going? And understanding when I do have some negative thoughts, are those thoughts on repeat? Do they continually show up today, tomorrow, and the next day? Other questions I'll ask myself, am I super reactive? Am I super reactive around people? Do I snap back quickly? Am I more focused and aware of being slower in my reactions around people, allowing a little bit of time to process maybe what's been said to me? But that this is always a work in progress, but being aware of how am I reacting to everything? That's just a small part of the mental training I like to do. And then, like on the emotional side of things, I want to make sure that I'm not a robot, meaning that I want to learn and continually learn on how to feel. Like, what am I feeling? Like, what is happening around me? I think as men, we're terrible at this, right? If you're a woman listening to this, you're like, yep, guys suck at this. And I don't know what it is. I don't have the answer to that, but I'm trying to be aware of what is happening for me emotionally, because I think some emotion is good for us and it's how we're built. It's how I think God made us, is to feel. And I think a lot of us don't. A word that I used was really taught during the life coach school when I was at is the word buffer. And I knew what buffer was, but how did that relate? But it's when we don't feel, right, what is really happening to us, something is painful, it's hurtful, we're going through a certain situation or circumstance. We don't want to feel that. So we go to those coping mechanisms. We go to the drinking, the binge watching, hours of Netflix and TV and hours of video games, scrolling on social media. And really, it could also take us down those darker courses for drugs and things to really cover all those things. And we're just not showing up the way we want to because we're not feeling, right? So I'm working on that, and I'm working on allowing these things to happen and feeling it inside of me, and just being able to build that within me. One of my coaches says the only thing that we're really scared of is feeling the feeling. So the only thing that we're scared of is feeling the feeling. So just think about that. What are you scared of? And if you're like, man, I'm scared of this, well, ask yourself why. I'm scared of it because I'm going to feel sad. I'm going to feel depressed. I'm going to feel unhappy. Those are just feelings. So just being aware of that and how that can lead us to really not really doing much about it. It's more inaction there. Okay, so that's the emotional side of things. Then the last part of that would be like the spiritual things. And I'm not going to get into some get crazy on the spiritual side here. It's a little more private there. But for me, I just simply want to be the best person I can to walk. I'm a Christian, so I want to walk in Christ's footsteps and do and try to be as he would, right? I want to strive to make sure I'm doing the best to stay in alignment and connected to my higher power. So whatever your higher power is, are you connected? And I simply want to be aware of what's going on. Like in my heart, are those things allowing me to just do what I want to do in regards, and are my actions backing up and really dictating what is going on inside of me? But I know I for sure I want to come from this place of calmness, this place of peace inside of me, because I know that's when I operate best. And I know that when there's that inner fire inside of me, and I'm feeling I have a fire of, hey, I also need to be a protector for myself. I need to be a protector for my family and my loved ones around me. So really trying to do my best there to stay in alignment and constantly in check with myself, making sure I'm there. But I think all of those things really equate to back to what am I passionate about within these goals? Am I in my purpose? Am I in my alignment with what I want to do and with what I want to complete and what I want to complete today, this week, this month, this year? I think sometimes when we get off track with our goals that we set, we're really quick to give up quickly rather than allowing ourselves to just reset and get back on track. I'm not sure that we can really expect a complete perfect line upwards, right, to our main goal. In fact, I wouldn't expect that at all. I would expect it to look like a jagged mess, right? The ebbs and flows, the ups and downs. And I really think that's the way it should be. It should be hard. It should be difficult. You should really stumble your way and almost fail your way to the top of that goal. That's where your growth is. That's how you continue to expand, right? That comfort zone and continually keep striving for more. If it's a simple straight line to the top of your goal, right, it likely isn't hard enough or you didn't challenge yourself enough. Also, if you're on top of that too, if you're finding yourself shaming or guilting yourself toward your goal, just work on being kinder to yourself. And when you find that you're being negative with yourself, just simply say, stop it. Just stop it. One of my favorite things I've learned lately is when you hit a roadblock, you hit an obstacle. You may have heard this from Jocko Willem, former Navy SEAL, right? He says to himself, and this is awesome, any time that something has happened in his life that he didn't expect, he says, good. Car broke down, good. I got sick, good. My daughter got food poisoning last night from eating a pizza, good. These are things that just happen. So try that out. Like anytime that something occurs in your life, try that. Good. I think that's very awesome. Really cool. A way to look at things like good. Like we're here to grow. We're not here to just be stagnant, sitting on the couch all day, not doing anything, not growing. But we need these obstacles in our life to challenge us, to make us grow. So for the year 2024, expect these obstacles. Allow them to come into your life and allow yourself to get through them. Own it, right? Keep moving. So just closing out here, but look at like, where are you at physically? Are you happy with where you're at? Are you happy with where you're at mentally, emotionally, and spiritually? Are you in alignment with where you want to be? Are you in that extrinsic kind of motivation goal patterns of, are you seeking just fame? Are you seeking likes? Is that running your life? Or are you more in the intrinsic of, I'm doing these things because I'm in full harmony with myself. I'm more about the values, right? And the freedom and the values that can bring. So those personal values. So I'm suggesting to you, right, to get your thoughts and your goals in alignment with really what you want. Understand you're going to have excuses. We're humans. We all have our excuses. Those are going to play a role in this. And as you dive into your mindset and into your heart, what's going on deep inside of you, what is going on, find out what is going to light that fire within you for this year. What's going to allow that fire within you? What's going to allow you to work through those ups and downs and to make sure that you are doing it for you, right? This is all for you. You want to make yourself the best version of you so everyone else around you can enjoy you and enjoy themselves. So I would love to hear from you really more about what you're thinking in regards to your goals. If you want to discuss this more, you can find me on Instagram under Mental Edge Training Coach. You can email me if you're actually interested in working with me one-on-one. I coach athletes on the mental side of the game. I coach parents on the life coaching side of things. You can reach out to me at chadhermansen.com, or you can just simply email me, chad@mentaledge.coach. Let's do some amazing things in 2024. Thank you for listening, and I'll see you in the next episode.